Hello everyone, thank you for attending the FireAvert webinar. My name is Peter Thorpe. I'm one of the owners of FireAvert. I always like to introduce myself and give a background about myself and the company. So 17 years ago, I started off as a career firefighter. Actually, it's been almost 19 years ago now. So I started off as a career firefighter, absolutely loved my job. I was on a ladder company, engine company, did all that, and quickly started realizing the number one fire call we went on was stove fires, just like the stoves you see right here. People start to cook and they get distracted and they leave them. In multifamily, over 72% of all the fires in multifamily are happening on electric and gas stoves, just like what you see in this demo room. So as an early or young rookie firefighter, I had the idea of how cool would it be to create a product that would automatically turn off the stoves before there was a fire. And that's what FireAvert does. It is the only product on the market that removes a heat source. Without a heat source, you're not gonna have smoke damage, fire damage, and we do it so early that there is no smoke damage, which is really powerful. That's what's saving lives out there. So thank you everybody for attending. Our last webinar, the overall request or question we had was, can we see an actual demo? So that is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you a gas installation, how to assemble the gas units, install it, and then we're going to move into an electric install. Both are very easy and you're very capable of doing it. So let's start here with the gas units. When you order gas units from FireAvert, the one thing you need to know before you place in your order is that the gas stoves, the flex line coming into your stove there, has either a 3/8 inner diameter or a 1/2 inch inner diameter. If you look on the yellow flex line on the connection there, it's going to tell you right on there if it's a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 inner diameter. So I have both these here. I'll do a 1/2 inch today, and just so everyone knows, 1/2 inch is the more common size out there in multifamily, but we do see some 3/8 as well. So 3/8, 1/2 inch. When the order comes in bulk packaging, you're going to have, if you have a 200 unit complex, you're going to have 200 of these flex lines with adapters on each end. It's going to come assembled just like this. You're going to have 200 red boxes and then 200 solenoids right here. And then of course the yellow tape for your fittings there, because this is a gas stove here. So assembly, very easy. You're going to grab this, you take off these adapters, and then you're going to open up your tape here. And if you want to use plumber's glue, that's perfectly fine as well. So here's the tip for you as you're doing this, okay? Most of you are probably aware of this, but there's one end that is flared, that you see right there, it's flared. The other end is not flared. I'm sure most of us know this. If it is a gas piping and it's flared like that, you do not use any tape on it. It actually has an adverse effect on that. So don't tape a flared end. The other end here, you always tape in clockwise. So I'm going to just tape these threads right here. As such. Make sure we're not blocking the entrance there, the gas there. Very simple. We'll do the second one here. And again, I'm going clockwise. Wrap that around. Okay. Once you have both of these taped as such, you're going to grab your solenoid here. Here's another tip for you, okay? Gas is directional. These solenoids do have a certain direction. If you look on top right here, hope you see on the camera, but there is an arrow. Okay, the gas has to flow this way. So the arrow has to be pointing towards the stove. If you accidentally put it the other direction, it's not going to shut off gas there. So check the little arrow right on top right there, and you know the direction to put it, okay? The taped end goes in each of the solenoids. So we're gonna put these in because we put the tape on counterclockwise. Goes in without messing the tape up. Both ends right here. I do a hand tight, and then we're going to use our tools and tighten it. Okay, as such, this is the prep work. Once it's firm there, there's no reason to use your He-Man strength and do it past just normal tightness. So I can do it a couple times around. It's firm right there, we're good. Okay, that is all your prep work. So, besides the flex line here, okay? So here's our 3/8 flex line. This is a flared end, so no tape needed. Gas going this, here's our arrow, gas going that direction. My flex line goes on this direction. Okay, hand tight, use my tools. Again, no He-Man strength. Here we go. Okay. I do that one tight there. We don't want any leaks here. And I'm going to show you guys how to check for leaks and install this. So that's our prep work. Now we're going to put it on behind the stove. I'm going to cut camera here just for a second while I pull the stove out so you guys can see how this looks like it's installed. Okay, we are here behind the gas stove here. We've already done the pre-assembly of our solenoid and the flex line on it. Now, before we install the solenoid, it's already installed here. Before we do it, there is always a quarter-turn valve on your gas line. You shut that off. You remove the yellow flex line from your gas line, put in the new solenoid, and you'll see the flex line is on this side, the yellow flex line is on the other side of the solenoid. Again, check the arrow on your solenoid. The arrow needs to be pointing towards the stove there. Put it in there, we tighten them, hand tighten the time with tools just slightly, no He-Man strength on them. It's all installed here, and then we install the red box. Take the red box here, the solenoid can only plug into one side here, has a barrel jack connection. You put it in. The gas stove still, unless it's a pilot light, still has an electric component. It goes on the other side. We're now gonna plug the red box in. I don't know if you can see in the video there, but it's flashing. The white flashing light tells us the firmware that it has, what update it has, and then there's a red flashing LED light. That tells you how many times it has cut power from a smoke alarm. After it goes to that cycle, the LED light is blue. If you ever come and check on the FireAvert, it's not letting gas through, check the LED light. If it's blue, there's a button on the red box right next to the blue light. If you push that, the light turns from blue to green. Green allows us to cook, it allows gas flow. Little tip, if your resident says, hey, my FireAvert keeps cutting power, check on the red box here. If it's blue, if the LED light is blue, that's from a power outage. If it cuts power, it needs to be reset from power outage or brownout. If it's red, it's cutting from a smoke alarm. That helps you kind of just know, is it because of their cooking or because of power outages in the area? Okay, with the red box plugged in, we now can turn the gas back on it. So we turn the quarter turn valve here. We have gas flowing through, red box is on, we have a green light. Now we can check for gas leaks. You're gonna grab just your solution there of soapy water, 50% soap, 50% water there, and you're gonna spray in the connections, okay? So I'm spraying on all our connections, all around it, both sides, and we're looking for bubbles coming up. If there's any bubbles, we need to wipe it off, tighten it up, and do it and check again for leaks. So I'm gonna spend some time here. I'm seeing no bubbles. Our installation was good. Okay, so I'm just gonna wipe this off. FireAvert has technicians around the country that can install these for you. We can come do audits if you're having issues. Our technicians, we do a bubble test. We also do a gas wand test. So I have my gas wand here, it's on, and our team will check each of the connections here for this wand. So we do a double check. We're sitting here, no leaks, checking the other side, and no leaks either. And I should also point out, if we come to the gas install for you, before we will install it, we're going to do with our gas one there, we're going to check your pre-existing flex line, all your connections, and if there's any leaks. If there are pre-existing leaks, we will not install the gas solenoid until you fix those pre-existing gas leaks. So that is also, you know, part of our installation process, our audit there for you. We give that feedback to you. Now with everything installed, let me point out too, the yellow flex line here, you can kind of see it in the video there, is they don't last forever. So most of you probably know, but there is expiration dates on these flex lines, and some jurisdictions, every time you pull the stove out and replace the stove, they want you to replace that flex line. They don't last forever. The more you pull your stove out and put it back in, they get cracks in them. They deteriorate over time, so they need to be replaced. And so it's as maintenance, your job to help your property managers know that, budget in. This is your long-term maintenance plan to replace these flex lines every, I don't know, check on what the manufacturer recommends, but I think 5 to 10 years, maybe even sooner, depending on how often you're pulling stoves out, they need to be replaced. And again, I think we told you in our last webinar, our solenoids, just like water heaters, just like these flex lines, they do not last forever. They do need to be replaced. We warranty them for 3 years, but we recommend you change them out at 5 years. We have some customers that change them out earlier than 5 years. We have some customers that change them out after 5 years because they're still having no issues. But the manufacturer recommendation on the solenoid is 5 years to change it out. Okay, with everything connected, we've done our gas leak test. We're ready to push the stove back, and now we're going to sound a smoke alarm and do a test. So use a test. I also want to point out, you might be wondering why we have this cut out here in this wall. This is FireAvert headquarters. We're in a commercial building here, so the gas line's inside here. So normally yours is going to have a sheetrock all the way down, the gas line coming out here. It's going to work just the same, but we are in a commercial building, in a demo room, not residential. So that is why you see that cut out there in the sheetrock. So okay, we'll go on to the test. Thank you. All right, everybody, we are here behind the electric stove. We're going to show the installation process for your electric FireAvert, the auto stove shutoff. Here in the US, every electric stove either has a 4-prong outlet. There's 4 pins on. This is the NEMA 1450 outlet. Or if you have an older property, you're going to have the NEMA 1050. It's a 3-prong outlet. So when you place your order, if you're ordering extra units, go check your outlet to see if you have a 3-prong or a 4-prong there, okay? So those are the 2 options that we have here that we support. They're the only options for an electric stove there. Okay, so this is a 4-prong outlet, so we're gonna use a 4-prong for installation today. So here it is. We're gonna grab the power cord to the electric stove. I like to plug this into the FireAvert box first, and then this simply just goes right into the wall. Right there, installation is done. It is that simple. The light goes green, we're ready to start cooking. The only other step is that we recommend to do a user test. And how do you perform a user test? The stove has to be in the on position because it only cuts power if it's on, and sound the smoke alarm. You're gonna push the test button on your smoke alarm for about 45, 60 seconds and watch it cut power. The other tip here with this is this installation was really good. It's down low, it's going parallel with the floor. The stove, there's a void space behind your stoves there where the drawer is, that warming drawer. It's gonna slide right over the top of the FireAvert. This works 75% of the time. The other times, the FireAvert, the electrical box is high in the wall. Sometimes electricians put it clear up here, or they're gonna put it, so I'm gonna unplug this. Sometimes this outlet's in the corner, it's going into the ground. There's no rhyme or reason where these electricians put the outlet sometimes. So if it doesn't fit properly, if it's gonna push the stove out, then we provide a UL listed pigtail here, okay? And these come in the 3-prong or the 4-prong. So here I have the 4-prong pigtail. So how you use the pigtail is you first plug your FireAvert into the pigtail, as such, push it together there, okay? And now the stove power cord is gonna go right into the FireAvert box. like so. Okay, so now we have this installed. Now I plug this into the wall. And the nice thing I'll show with this, if the outlet's high in the wall, I plug it in here, the FireAvert is now down where the void space is. If it's going straight down to the floor there, I can bend this and plug it in, so now the FireAvert's gonna fit. So, and you can also wrap these, okay? So, to make it fit there, we see sometimes a configuration like this, wrapping it there so the stove slides over. We install over 10,000 of these every month, and the stove still fits flush against the wall every time. So sometimes some are more difficult. For the majority of them, around 75% of them, they're very easy. You don't need a pigtail, but there are a handful that are going to require a pigtail. Okay, so I'm going to undo the pigtail. Take that off. Okay, plug the stove back in the FireAvert, plug this back in the wall. Okay, now we're going to slide the stove back and do a user test. All right, everybody, you can see installation is very easy. They're not difficult. The electrical ones, it's all plug and play. The gas one, it takes a little bit more work there if your tool's there, but does not take long at all. A couple of tips also I wanted to mention for your gas stoves. We also see customers buying some sort of just like, this is a Better Bubble gas leak locator. If you want your teams to use something already pre-mixed, they sell these at your hardware store there. They're great to have. Also for the electric install, we do recommend, before I'm going to unplug or plug anything into the electric stove outlet, which is 240 volts, 50 amps there, we hit the breaker. We turn off the breaker there for safety, plug it all in, push the stove back, and then turn the power back on there just because the amount of amperage going through it. So with that said, then we do recommend a user test after we do the install. So for the electric stoves, it has to be on. So we're turning these burners on here. Again, it only cuts power if the electric stove is on. For gas stoves, it cuts power every time it hears the smoke alarm, regardless if it's being used or not, but we do like to see that it cuts power, cuts gas, the solenoid is cutting, so I'm going to turn these burners on. Hopefully you can see the gas there. So if both these on here, you're going to use a smoke alarm in your facility that's already installed. We want you to test it where that smoke alarm is. Again, FireAvert can hear the smoke alarm up to 60 feet away. We've never had an issue with a FireAvert not hearing a smoke alarm. So we're going to sound this, and you're going to watch both these cut power. I'm going to stand this side. I know I'm close, but it does hear it 60 feet away, but I want you to see both these stoves. Again, it has to hear up to 30 seconds. And there you go. They both cut power. This is the most effective way of preventing a fire. All these foods, the oils, they all start to smoke. They have a smoke point around 300 degrees there. They don't hit that flash point around closer to 700 degrees there. So that's a very large window. By removing that heat source, we break the fire triangle and we don't have a fire. These are reusable. There is no expiration date on these besides that gas solenoid. We do recommend at 5 years swapping it out. The electrical ones, no expiration date there. So to reset it real quick, I remember the last webinar. The electric ones, once the smoke alarm has stopped sounding and the tenant has put the burners to the off position, after about 2 minutes, it's an auto reboot. It's intelligent enough to know that there's no longer a threat there, and it's an auto reboot. The gas ones, you can either scan the QR code here and play the unique sound on your phone, or you can purchase these little buttons. You push it, that unique sound will automatically turn the gas stove back on for you. We'll watch this, and then we'll be done. Very good, okay. This will stop on its own, or you can just push it and stop it. So the auto reboot button, reset the gas stove, and because the gas burners were in the off position, smoke alarm stopped sounding, our electric stove was auto reboot as well. So thank you everyone for joining. I want to give you a little heads up on our next webinar. I'm going to invite Terry to come on out here, but this is Terry Shelley. She's our customer success manager. She's going to help with our next webinar.
We're excited, looking forward to the feedback, and we'll see you guys in a few weeks.
Thanks everyone.